Hi, or as they say in Turkish, merhaba everyone. My name is Ilknur. That's spelled I-L-K-N-U-R, Ilknur. I came to the United States from Turkey when I was 9 years old, and I grew up undocumented. I am a DACA recipient. DACA stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It was an executive order by President Obama in 2012. DACA allows 2-year renewable work permit and protection from deportation. This year will be the 10th year of the program. Today, I want to talk about my name, Ilknur. In Turkish, first part of my name, ilk, means first, and last part of my name, nur, means light. So, together, my name means first light. I love the meaning of it. I think it's beautiful. My name is a common name in Turkey, but a little hard to pronounce at first to others. Growing up undocumented in the United States, my name was a constant reminder that I was an outsider. Over the years, I tried to Americanize my name. By that, I mean I wanted to change my name so it would be easier for people in the United States to say. Like many immigrants, I wanted a name that was easy to pronounce and easy to remember. I didn't want to feel like an outsider anymore. This was me taking matters to my own hands and becoming American in my own little way. So I experimented with few names to see if any of them would stick. First, I tried Eren, spelled E-R-E-N. Eren is my last name, and it's also a common name in the United States, so this felt like an obvious choice. During college, I worked at a diner as a waitress, and I introduced myself as Eren to my coworkers and customers. It was so easy. Sometimes I told customers my real name, and we laughed about how my last name is so much easier than my first name, and that my first name and last name should be switched. But I knew I couldn't continue introducing myself by my last name. I thought it would confuse people in the long run, so I stopped. I went back to the drawing board. At the time, I met a few people who went by their middle name, so I figured I could give that a try. The problem was, I don't actually have a middle name. So I took this as an opportunity to choose any name I wanted. I asked my mom what other names she considered when I was born, and she blurted out a few, then said Lara, spelled L-A-R-A. What's interesting about Lara as a middle name for me is if you put Lara between my first and last name, my entire name would read Ilknur Eren, which actually makes a sentence in Turkish that translates to those who reach for the first lights. I'm always looking for signs from the universe as if I'm a character in a book. I look for symbolisms or foreshadows I think may be happening in everyday life. The meaning, those who reach for the first lights, felt very meaningful to me. And it also kind of felt like Lara completed my name. I thought maybe this would complete my identity. Maybe this was the missing puzzle piece. In 2013, I started an internship at New York Parks and Recreations, and I introduced myself as Lara to my coworkers. It was so easy. People knew Lara. I no longer got, what's your name again? How do you spell that? No, people knew Lara. But unfortunately, Lara also didn't work out. Not only did I have to teach my peers this new name, but I also had to get used to being called a name that was completely different from my native name. I felt like fraud to myself. By this time, Eren and Lara didn't work out. I felt lost and frustrated. I felt like I didn't know who I was. I mean, there I am in my 20s, and I don't even know my name. I went back to the drawing board again. This time, I thought maybe I could switch up my first name to make it easier. That would eliminate the problems I had when I tried a last name and a middle name. Ilknur was hard. I thought maybe the second part of my name, Nur, it's what's making it so difficult. Then I thought about Ilkay, but again, it didn't feel like me. Maybe Ilki, Ilana, Ikna. I went through so many variations in my head and said them out loud 1,000,000 times to see if they sounded how I wanted to feel. Of course, I was trying to find a name that was easy to pronounce. I researched names that start with ilk, names that end in nur. Upon my endless Google search, I stumbled upon an actress named Ilka Chase. Her last name was Chase, so I assumed the universe was giving me a clue, telling me Ilka is the name I have been chasing after. And Ilka already was very close to my native name, and it already had the first 3 letters, so I figured it wouldn't hurt to try. After college, as I worked a few different jobs, I introduced myself as Ilka to my coworkers. Ilka was, of course, much easier than Ilknur, and after a while, I was slowly starting to get used to being called Ilka. But in the back of my mind, I loved my native name, and in a perfect world, people would know how to pronounce Ilknur. Then came a revelation. While I was advocating for DACA by telling my personal story, speaking to my congressman, writing articles, I met many DACA recipients and immigrants who were proud of their culture. One particular immigrant I met spoke about their name at a conference. This immigrant's name is spelled P-A-M-E-L-A, commonly pronounced Pamela in the United States. But this immigrant's name was supposed to be pronounced Pamela. What stood out to me was how Pamela decided to correct people when they mispronounced her name. She claimed that fixing this mistake allowed her to reclaim her identity. Meeting Pamela and other DACA recipients made me completely rethink how I approach my name. I realized when I was trying different nicknames, I was trying to hide my Turkish identity because I was undocumented. I saw myself as an American, and I thought I had to get rid of my Turkish identity to become that fully. But over years, I realized that I could be both, because I am both. And I want to celebrate my language and culture the same way I want to celebrate my coworker and friends' language and culture from Brazil, Belgium, Egypt, and many others. Often, people ask me where my name comes from. We start conversations about different cities in Turkey, like Istanbul and Ankara. We talk about how amazing baklavas are, and I always tell them that they should try lahmacun next time they go to Turkey. I now like to think that my name is my daily protest that immigrants belong in the United States. And these differences that we have are beautiful and what makes all of us interesting. Now, when I introduce myself, I am Ilknur. To everyone I meet, I will teach them a new word, a new name. And if they're curious enough, I'll also teach them what my name means. In reclaiming my name, what was once an embarrassment is now one of my greatest sources of empowerment. Thank you, or as they say in Turkish, teşekkürler.